Hello, Bold Profit Strong Hands Nation. Welcome to Market Talk Monday on the Paul Mampilly YouTube channel. Now, 3D printing is a fourth industrial manufacturing technology that I'd say is transforming how objects are made today, from 3D printed concrete houses and their interiors, as seen in these recent images from a 2021 award-winning 3D printed home in Germany, to 3D printed parts now installed and working 24/7 inside a U.S. nuclear power plant reactor. The $12.6 billion global 3D printing market is making waves, and 3D printing, also known as additive manufacturing, is the process of making three-dimensional solid objects from a digital file. As 3dprinting.com sees it, quote, 3D printing is destined to transform almost every major industry and change the way we live, the way we work and play in the future, end quote. And of course, Paul sees 3D printing as the investment opportunity of the 21st century and already has his top 3D printing investment recommendations at the ready. They're picked out, ready to ride this opportunity more than any other moment in history. So now, to help share awareness on 3D printing's growing adoption across various industries with a special focus on medical breakthroughs, today, Dan Shiflett, our junior investment analyst and key support analyst working very closely with Paul on several Bold Profits trading services, is here to follow up on a really great article that he wrote on July 15th of this year, titled One Sector to Surge with 3D Printing. So hello, Dan. Thank you for joining me today. Good to see you.
Good to see you too, Amber. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're most welcome. So glad you're here. But just before we begin, everyone, please remember to click that subscribe button for this channel, the Paul Mampilly YouTube channel. Give us a thumbs up if you like the content. And of course, you can visit us at boldprofitsdaily.com to sign up for our free investment e-letter. So let's get started. So first off, Dan, overall, I have to say the global 3D printing products and services market, I mentioned this, it's projected to grow from $12.6 billion in 2020 to $37.2 billion by 2026. And in your July 15th article, you recognize the mega growth potential and 3D medical printing. So for today, can you please share with Bold Profits Market Talk viewers three 3D printing medical breakthroughs that are happening right now?
Yeah, absolutely. So for the first one is going to be about organ printing. Second topic I'm going to talk about is research. And the last topic would be pharmaceuticals.
Okay.
So far I know in the article I had mentioned that we are 3D printing organ cells such as kidney cells, liver cells, but not a whole organ just yet, but it's definitely in the works. It's definitely, seems very possible to happen in the near future. And we've even actually been able to 3D print cardiac sheet that actually prints, that actually beats just like a heart would. So that is pretty amazing. You can 3D print sheets of cardiac muscle and cardiac cells that actually beat like a heart. So it's just a matter of time before everything kind of comes together and you can 3D print a heart in itself. And I believe there's over 100,000 people on transplant lists. So when you're able to 3D print these life-saving organs, it's going to be countless of lives that are going to be saved. So that is pretty awesome. Not sure when that's going to happen, but it definitely seems like it's going to happen sooner rather than later. And next is research. Just like I mentioned, you can 3D print these organ cells. You can also 3D print tumor cells and cancerous cells. And with that, since you can 3D print these cells, you can have an abundant amount of research kind of right in front of you. If you can 3D print all these cells, you can do all sorts of testing, diagnoses. You can see how these cancer cells grow, how they metastasize, where they originate from. And you can also determine what sorts of treatment's going to work best for each type of cancer. So if you want to try and do radiation for one sort of cancer or pharmaceuticals for another, you can just kind of keep going with that and figure out what is going to work best in terms of research. So it would not surprise me in the slightest if at some point in time we find a cure for cancer, and 3D printing is, a huge part of that. So that is really exciting. And lastly, we have pharmaceuticals. Just like how you can 3D print these organ cells, if you can 3D print pharmaceuticals, one, that's just going to be, you have a massive supply of drugs right at hand. So, we have people that spend, hundreds to thousands of dollars every single month just for the medication. So if you're able to 3D print medication, that can drop the price down for a lot of people. A lot more people can be able to afford the medication. So that right there is going to be huge for a lot of people. And additionally, if you can 3D print capsules that have time releases on them or extended releases, for a lot of people, if they take, doctor gives them a prescription and says, you need to take this pill 4 times a day, or this pill once a day for the rest of your life. Mm-hmm. If you have 3D printed capsules that have time releases in them, it's not far-fetched to say you can take this one pill once a day or once a week rather, or even once a month. And over time, it'll just slowly release that medication. So medication compliance will be through the roof for a lot of people. And, you won't have to worry about taking it every single day or a few times a day. If you can just take it once a week or once a month, I think a lot more people will be very compliant with their medication.
Wow, that time capsule idea is really fascinating, Dan. That would really transform and change people's lives, who are dependent on medication for survival. So Dan, those three, you mentioned cells, research, as well as pharmaceuticals. I just see 3D printing truly just changing medical production as we see it, because medicine is just such an imperative part of our survival, and 3D printing is truly at the helm of that. So Dan, thank you so much for sharing these details with us. So fascinating. I appreciate that.
Of course, no problem. Thank you.
Okay, Dan, see you soon. Take care.
All right, bye.
Mm-hmm. So a big thank you to Dan for those enlightening 3D printing breakthrough stories. Thank you for joining us today, Dan. And it's such promising to hear these breakthroughs and how they can help and better our lives as we move forward. So 3D printing technology is not only transforming major industries. Actually, the ability to have a 3D printer in your home to print objects of your choice is there too, if you didn't know this. This past week, I actually had the pleasure of meeting a great group of Bold Profits Unlimited subscribers in person. Yes, at a very special event we had here. And one Bold Profits member, Michelle from Idaho, hello Michelle, shared that as a high school math and science teacher, she used a home printer to 3D print objects and three-dimensional models for her students. So this just tells me that the youth of today will see 3D printing technology as a definite part of general manufacturing, and as they grow and they mature, some choosing to even pursue careers in 3D printing technology, I think just adds more fuel to the rapid growth and mainstream adoption of 3D printing technology for years to come. And I can say Paul is all in on the 3D printing market. Actually, Paul's number one stock pick this year is making medical strides through 3D printing, as Dan was mentioning. It's manufactured more than 2 million medical devices and has even produced plastics and wax for dental procedures. Yes, 3D printing in dentistry. And it's a great America 2.0 company that could definitely bring viewers just like you potentially huge, big gains. And you can see details about Paul's top 3D printing pick by clicking the Strong Hands icon above my shoulder right here, or visiting the link in the description section of this video. So everyone, that concludes this week's Market Talk, special Market Talk with Dan, and talking about 3D printing and medical breakthroughs. Thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. And remember that you can follow Paul and me on Twitter at Mampilly Guru and at a Lancaster Guru. And until next time, everyone, have a wonderful week ahead. Take care.